Alright. Hello there, viewers of NozzGamingChannel. I'm here to present to you the 4th cast request. This one's sent in by OGIceT. And it's going to be a Zerg vs. Zerg matchup on Ohana. And now, just to give a bit of a refresher, cast request is where people send me in their replays random ladder games, and then I just cast them. It gives people a way to just have their game casted. And in my opinion, that's probably why bronze, silver, gold tournaments are so fun, or at least so popular. If you would like to send me in your replay, just send it to masterdalk@gmail.com. It's right there on your screen right now, mastrgalk@gmail.com. Send in your own replay to me. It'll be casted whenever I find the time to do it. But usually what ends up happening is that I have it casted for a while. It's just I don't get around to uploading it. I'm sorry, I'm going to get more onto uploading on time, starting with this video. Anyways, there isn't much to say past this, so let's get into the game. Alright, and here we go. We're going to be spawning right on top of the red Zerg. His name is 2. And over on the bottom right hand corner we have the person who sent in this replay from OGaming. He is OGIceT. Now maybe we'll get 2 cups of iced tea today. I have no idea what that pun means, I just really felt like saying it. Now 2, what kind of build will he be doing? As this is ZVZ, it's very coin flippy, but it usually starts out with Zergling bait in composition, and they just keep attacking each other with it until someone wins, and then get on with it. Excuse me 1 minute. Alright, so both players currently just sending out their overlords to get some initial scouting done. And we do see that in fact it's going to be a 10 pull out of OGIceT, and he's going to be doing a double extractor trick, as that is pretty normal, so that you can get out those 2 extra drones just for the extra minerals. But 2 is going for a 14 pull as well, so it's going to be a little bit safer. At least he isn't going for a hatchery first. If we went for a hatchery first, that would have been extremely brutal for him, as Ohana's has a very short rush distance compared to other maps. Now currently we're just going to have to wait for OGIceT. His spawning pool is done, the queen's on the way, 2 Zerglings, now 6 Zerglings on the way for OGIceT, and 2 has no idea. His first overlord is just nearing the point of his main base. But by the time the Zerglings are out, it's going to be a little too late to at least know that there was a 10 pool incoming. We do see that in fact the hatchery is going down for 2 right now. He has no Zerglings on the way, putting down a gas, so he's going to be going for a bit of speed faster, and he's not even getting a queen anyways. It's going to be pure drone. And now I don't think 2 has seen any of these Zerglings yet, and 2 is just nearing OGIceT's base. Is going to be seeing that he's going to be plopping down the hatchery, but the Zerglings of OGIceT have arrived already. They were trying to go for the hatchery, but since there is absolutely no defense for 2 yet, OGIceT goes straight into the main. The drones are trying their best to help defend this base, but the drones are getting very low on health right now. And they're not even attacking for a little bit. Oh my god, let's see how many drones have died so far. 4 drones dead so far. And now it looks like all those Zerglings will get cleaned up. But 2 taking a bit of a major hit there. Not deciding to get any Zerglings at all, going straight for the gas, not even getting a single queen. That was very ballsy, but now it looks like 2 did in fact hold that, and he has his natural alive. So that's very good for him. He'll be able to saturate that, be able to get ahead in the game. And now we do see that 8 Zerglings for 2 are heading over towards OGIceT's bases now. And now the gas collection has begun for OGIceT, but it is a lot later compared to 2's. And as soon as he hits that 100 Vespine gas count, speed should begin. And metabolic boost could begin now, but a ton of Zerglings for 2 have just arrived at OGIceT's natural. A queen is on the ramp to try and help defend from this. There are 6 Zerglings for OGIceT here, but there are currently 19 out on the map for 2. And right here, we have 11 Zerglings. So this is a very large amount, but 18 are close to popping out of their eggs right now for OGIceT. And because 2 isn't trying to deal any pressure with this here, he's just giving OGIceT more time to be able to defend his attack. OGIceT, though, a little bit supply blocked at 36, needs to make an Overlord to help defend against that. And now we do see that 2 going to be taking out of the Zergling tech, getting a Roach War in here that's going to help a lot versus mass Zergling count, especially if you have a ton of roaches. Metabolic boost about 5 seconds off or actually no, 10 seconds off for these players. And now 2 is going up, but there are a ton of Zerglings out for OGIceT right now, and they're both on creep, so it doesn't really matter. None of them have metabolic boost yet, and it looks like OGIceT with just a larger amount of Zerglings will be able to clean this up fairly nicely. And now going to just make a ton of Zerglings here, getting a Roach Warren as well. But the thing is that 2 is just ahead in terms of tech. He's now getting his lair, has that Roach Warren up, but still not opting to make any roaches. This is a bit of a weird decision. He does have the gas to make a few roaches at the moment, and now it looks like, oh, look at this, 2 getting some Zerglings into OGIceT's main base. But all the Zerglings of OGIceT are chasing after them. Both players have metabolic boost right now, and it looks like 2 won't be able to do any amount of damage with that. 3 workers killed for 2 versus the 4 that OGIceT killed earlier on with this 10 pool. And both players right now have a ton of larvae at their hatcheries. Looks like 2 going to be cleaning that up now. Getting Glow Reconstitution, still no roaches out for 2 yet. And we do see that the large amount of Zerglings for OGIceT are over at the 3rd, going to be picking off the drone that was trying to expand. 2 going to try making 3 spine collars to block off that low ground for the ramp, and all of these Zerglings here on the low ground are going to get cleaned up by OGIceT Zerglings, and now going to try targeting down the spine collars. 1 gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled, 1 is very close to dying, it gets cancelled as well, and now this queen gets taken out as well. And now OGIceT is going to try, and he gets 2 queens now, and the hatchery at the natural is just completely open, going to kill off all of these drones here. 2 is going to try desperately making some roaches to deal with these Zerglings, but there's only 4 right now versus OGIceT's large amount of Zerglings, 21 Zerglings, and 12 just about to pop. They did, and now going to be heading across the map to aid these Zerglings. It looks like OGIceT will be backing off for now, as these roaches are just a little bit too much for pure Zergling to handle. But as soon as these roaches of OGIceT regroup with the Zerglings of OGIceT, it will be much easier for him to push into this, as he'll just have a sheer larger force. If you take a look at the supply counts, they're 30 supply apart. So OGIceT currently just grouping up at the farther Zelnaga tower right now, and he is heading over towards OGIceT's natural, or 2's natural. The roaches getting first hit on those Zerglings. The Zergling count is a lot smaller than it was before. Lair just now going down for OGIceT. It's a bit late, but it doesn't matter as long as it comes out eventually. It looks like OGIceT requested for a pause, but It's all good. He does have not the best computer ever, so hopefully it works out fine for him this game. We do see 2 finally being able to use that natural expansion. If we take a look at the income tab, it's actually 41 harvesters to 18. 2 is very bad in his drone count right now. And he just keeps getting supply block because he's having to make defenses. Although really, with these roaches up here, OGIceT can't attack into it just yet. And now, oh look at this, our blue Zerg is going to be getting his 3rd base now. As on Ohana, the 3rd and the natural pretty close together. And especially if you've delayed your opponent's 3rd this long, you should probably get your own as well. It just helps, and you get into a much, much higher economic position than you already are. And OGIceT has these roaches and Zerglings just waiting outside the natural of 2. This Overseer is in here, and it's going to see everything that is in here, or really nothing, as everything that's in here, OGIceT already knows about, well, except for that infestation pit. And does OGIceT see it? Yes, he will in fact see it. So that infestation pit is well known by OGIceT now. And 2, really, unless he's trying to go for fast 5 tech, probably should get a ton of infestors as fast as possible. And that Overseer will get out with 40 health remaining. That Queen just not being able to kill it off. The 3rd base is up for OGIceT right now. Over towards the left of his natural. So OGIceT just sitting in an even more comfortable position than he already was. +2 melee attacks on the way, +1 carapace and pathogen glands, while his opponent is getting +1 carapace and pathogen glands as well. Those infestors might be something that will help boost his army for 2, but really when OGIceT is also getting infestors and even getting a Hydralisk den as well, it's going to be a lot harder, and he's going to be needing some amazing, magnificent miracle engagements to try and come out on top. And look at this, OGIceT even getting his 4th base over towards the right hand side of the map. Just getting and staying even more economically ahead. 2 has been trying to catch up, but there's still 20 harvesters apart right now. We do see +1 missile attacks, Glow Reconstitution, Grooved Spines, all on the way for our blue Zerg, and actually 3 evolution chambers out right now for OGIceT. So he's just going to be a beast with those upgrades. And now we do see +2 carapace has started right away. +1 missile attacks on the way as well for 2. So he's trying to just use upgrades to help as well. But again, OGIceT has just had so much stuff that he can work with. It's looking really bad for 2 right now. He doesn't have much of anything compared to his opponent. Take a look, 63 workers to 47, 71 army supply to 44, so he's just down on both fronts. The Hydralisks are out now as well, and Hive coming out now for OGIceT, and we do see a bit of a Zergling run by heading towards the 3rd, but it's all of OGIceT's army is already here, so those Zerglings will be forced away. He did see the Hydralisks, so he knows that he needs to prepare against those. And now the first 4 infestors on the way for OGIceT, and the Zerglings getting into the main of by 2. A very smart decision. Will he be able to get this Queen here? It's getting very low on health, and it does go down. For all these Zerglings, all they will get is that Queen. They are about 5 of them still alive though. So it looks like 2 did a bit of damage there, not too much though, as OGIceT has killed 21 workers this entire game. And now the 3rd is finally up for 2. It's going to try getting saturated. 2 also going to try getting his 4th as well. But it's going to be very far behind compared to OGIceT's that is already up and has begun saturating. An Ultralisk Cavern on the way now for OGIceT, and that's a very smart decision. Because really, his opponent can't afford the Hive Tech right now, so he can just get the Ultralisks, and they'll help a lot, especially versus barely anything. There are a few Infestors out right now, but Fungal doesn't do too much versus Ultralisks. They do more towards the Hydralisks and Zerglings in the army, but the Ultralisk probably going to be up at the front, and now we do see 2 going to be sending a lot of his roaches, or I think all of his roaches over towards the third, and a nice Fungal going to be dropping about half of them down. Another good Fungal going to be getting most of them, but a lot of these Infestors are going down for basically for free, but all of IceT's army has just arrived. These roaches not really being able to do anything, trying to target down that hatchery, but there's just so much stuff for IceT. Or will this hatchery go down 200 health remaining, and it's going to live at 79 health remaining. And a few Zerglings trying to pick off at this 4th hatchery, 4-2, dealing a ton of damage to it actually, and now all of the Zerglings of IceT have arrived, and that hatchery will go down. So, 2 in such a horrible position this, well, all game long really. Just not being able to come back, not being able to get ahead in anything, as free and shitness plating and +2 missile attacks on the way for IceT. So this is just looking very bad for 2. And even take a look at the supply counts, about 70, or well, no, 40 supply apart, but still a huge difference. And these Infestors will get a Fungal off on all of those Zerglings there. But really, there's just Zerglings there, expendable. And they just free up more supply for bigger and better things, such as these Ultralisks. 3 are out, 3 more on the way. So IceT just in such a comfortable position. Not putting on too much harass, actually giving 2 a bit of time to try and stabilize. Well, as Hive is just now starting at 21 minutes. And there's basically just roaches, very few Infestors, and not ahead in upgrades either. This is still looking pretty bad for 2. And now we even see that Funneling Claws has begun for IceT now. And at this point, really, 2 needs to think about how he can engage into this army. Really, he's just been slamming his roaches into IceT's entire army, and now that it includes Ultralisks, he should be a little bit scared, in my opinion. He needs to try split up his army, try to sandwich the army, and needs to get some really good Fungals and possibly even use Infested Terrans to block the Ultralisks in place. The Hive is about to finish up 4-2 right now, and it looks like he's preparing for an engagement, but about a quarter of IceT's army is heading around the left flank, and no Fungals going off on both players. The Infestors are at the front of the army. A Fungal goes off on the Ultralisk, but a Fungal doesn't matter to Ultralisks, as they can just walk right through it, and it looks like 2 was just decimated right there by all of those Ultralisks, and that is GGQP. I think he meant well played, but that is GG from 2, as really he doesn't have much that he can do with anything. Like, IceT, because he had those Ultralisks, the Ultralisks got fungled, but a little known fact, Ultralisks when fungled just get damage dealt to them. They can still move while those Fungals are on them, because they're just so big. So that was well played by IceT there. And that was Caster Quest number 4. Very well played by IceT. And again, this is just a random ladder game. That is what Caster Quest is about. You get your random ladder games casted by myself. Now, if you would like to send in your own replay, send it to masterdalk@gmail.com, MASTRDALK. And you can also check me out on Twitter. It is @MasterDalk. You can also check out my channel on Twitch, MasterDalk TV. Check out O Gaming on Recall as well. That way you can just talk to me or any other O Gaming member, as we're usually all on there. The numerical ID is 4842288. So this was cast request number 4. Thank you for watching, and you of course know the channel that this is on, NozzGamingChannel. Be sure to subscribe and like. Have a good day, everybody.